Okay guys, today I'm going to talk, right now I'm going to talk a bit about hallucinogenics, my experiences with them. So I believe hallucinogenics open you up to the real world, almost like it takes away all that fabrication of society, gives you a lot of questions. And a lot of questions need answering. It sparked a lot of creativity in me, but also it has potential to rip away your soul. It is a spirit destroyer, and if you abuse it, so yeah, in moderation. I mean, it can be a really good experience, and a good trip can be the highest you've ever been, but a bad trip can be not knowing who you are anymore, because the concept behind hallucinogenics is that you slowly lose your ego until you become a point of consciousness. And losing that ego is scary, because you lose yourself. And I guess I'll talk you through one of my experiences of where I experienced what's called an ego death. And it took me a long time before I actually experienced this, so I'll set the scene. Me and some roommates, I didn't know them too well. I knew them a bit. I was four of us. We all dropped some acid. We all sat in the back shed. And we were just sitting there for a while. And then suddenly I felt that their voices were getting too rapid for me. I felt that their dynamic was much greater than mine. They were closer friends than me. And I felt a bit isolated. And then, after that, I started to not be able to understand them at all. I couldn't understand words anymore. And the fear started to grow in me. A lot of fear, because I couldn't understand English. I couldn't understand what was going on. I knew where I was, I just couldn't understand what they were saying. So this fear built up for a while, and this is the ego trying to hold back. It's trying to protect itself from losing itself. And then something inside of me just said, okay, I feel this fear, but I'm okay with that, and I accepted it. And that's what's called an ego death. I left my ego. So suddenly I was launched into this trip. It felt like I was surfing a wave of reality, like on the borderline of reality, which one of us was saying to me, I said, I've lost it. And he said, well, what was it anyway? You know what I mean? So you're in this place where you don't have an ego anymore. It can be quite creative, but it can be quite distressing as well. So anyway, now I could understand them all, and there was a point where we were all talking at once, but it felt like we were all talking together, like 4 people talking at once, but it felt like 2 people talking together. Like it was one conversation between 4 people all talking at once, and that was pretty amazing. So there was one guy there who was a bit naive to the LSD experience. 2 of them were quite knew a bit about it and knew a bit what they were doing, and I've had experiences with it, bad and good. But yeah, because some of my experiences I've seen flowers and trees blossom, and you get higher and higher. And so yeah, I'm sitting there, and then I'm thinking, what's going on in my head? What's happening? I'm not really feeling like I'm in control of my thoughts anymore. I looked over at this girl, and she was looking at me, and I looked to my friend who was the naive one. He looked at me and he said, is she putting thoughts in her mind? And I said, no, that's not possible. But it was. It wasn't thoughts. It was consciousness. It was a feeling. It was a feeling. We were empathizing with each other, probably because we all bonded so quickly due to the accelerated experience of LSD. But we were empathically connected, and we could empathically put feelings and consciousness in each other's minds. There were points where someone would think of something a bit grim, and everyone would go, well, why did you do that? What was that? We were talking through our emotions that we were transmitting through our head. I know this sounds crazy, but it happened, and we spoke about it the next day, and it wasn't due to the trip, it was real. I believe the hallucinogenics can open up that consciousness in your mind. Anyway, by the way, while you're on LSD, you're considered insane, and if the police were to catch you on LSD, they'll put you in a room for 24 hours because you are insane, and you can't be vouched for anything you say. The definition of insanity is not being able to remember what you said a second ago, and that's what LSD does. You keep jumping from topic to topic. So it can be an unsettling experience for some people. I suggest a trip sitter to just experience. But anyway, back to the empathy and the telepathy. There were points of that night that I barely even could comprehend. Like we were holding each other's hand, like it was like we were displaying some sort of Broadway show in our heads, and we were completely communicating empathically. And then so I picked up a guitar because I'm a musician, and this is one of the negative sides of LSD. I couldn't play shit. I couldn't play guitar at all. My mind was just a bit lost at that point. Moving on, I was getting a bit sick of the trip, as it does take a massive toll on the brain. So I started to drink, and well, before this, we all felt each other's. I focused on euphoria, and everyone felt it. They focused on euphoria, and we all sat there with our eyes closed, feeling the exact same euphoria in our legs and our arms and all that sort of thing. Complete relaxation, shared consciously. So anyway, I started to drink, and I got a bit drunk, and they all felt it. They said, "Who's been drinking? Do you want this to end?" Because they knew I was getting drunk, because they could feel it. So anyway, I got drunk, and I went up to my room alone, and I cried for about 4 hours. Just cried. I'm not sure what I was crying about. I'm not sure why I was doing it, but I think I was just releasing all this tension. So after that, you can't sleep for a while because it's very stimulating. It takes a massive toll. You can often get headaches afterwards. But all in all, I would say the trip, like, you know, it seems like it could be a massive epiphany, but because I'm a drug abuser, it didn't really, like, it was an amazing experience, and it opened me up to metaphysics, which is an amazing array of science. But it didn't help me in any way, and I think it can help some people. I think ceremonial, traditional can help people, but because of the place I was in, and because I was a drug addict, I was actually on methamphetamine at the same time, I was on ecstasy at the same time. Because of all that, I didn't feel happy afterwards. I felt amazed by it, but it didn't do me any good. It didn't help me out in any way. It was an amazing experience, and I'm so glad I experienced it. I probably won't ever touch acid again. I did. I had a bad trip where I lost my mind, you know, lost who I was, and that's what a bad trip is. You don't see ghosts, you don't. Some people might do, but my bad trip is where I lose the ability to communicate. You lose the ability of myself, and sometimes I hold on to my ego and I refuse to let it go. So you need to be experienced if you want to get the best out of this substance. So yeah, I refuse to let my ego go sometimes, and that makes it a very unproductive experience, and you feel quite distressed afterwards. All in all, I think LSD is an eye-opening experience. The first time I did it, I was unaware of what it could do, and I was walking down the street and I was looking at adverts on billboards, and I was thinking, why? And it opened up so many questions in me. But that was one of the first drugs I tried after ecstasy when I was younger, and because I abused acid a bit, it created a void in my ego. I lost myself a bit, so obviously opiates filled that gap. And I might do acid. I mean, there's psilocybin, which is mushrooms, mescaline, which is peyote, and DMT, obviously. I am interested, but because it's not an addiction. It's not, you can abuse it, but it's sometimes we don't want to do it again afterwards, and it has a diminishing effect. But I might try it when I'm in a better place, just to experience it, because it is an experience, and even the bad experiences, it teaches you a bit about who you are. And so yeah, I hope it's been a bit enlightening, and yeah, that's my experience with LSD. Thanks, guys.